Today's short is being brought to you by Goya Foods. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Your daily game plan for success. It's Sachs in the Morning. Steve Sachs.
Hi, Steve Sachs here with Sachs in the Morning. And today, because we're such a positive podcast, we're going to talk about making yourself happier. So what if there was a simple exercise that you could do anywhere in just a few minutes that was scientifically shown to improve your mood and your outlook on the future for at least a while? Would you do it? Well, that exercise exists. It's called the Best Possible Self-Intervention, or BPS, and multiple recent studies confirm that it can lift your mood and increase your optimism, at least on a temporary basis. That's what some psychologists say. Would you give that a try if you could? I would. So here's the way that Inc. magazine had published how to be your best self. So there's only two of them here. So I'm going to kind of read off of these and then give you my own input. So number one, it says visualize your best possible future self. Close your office door or find a place where you'll be undisturbed for a few minutes. Select a time in the future. It could be 10 years from now or 6 months from now. But imagine yourself in that future where things have gone right. You started that company that you've been dreaming about and it's already turning a healthy profit. Or you've landed that huge client or gotten that dream job. Your relationship and family are happy and you're living in a home that you love. Now, please don't visualize yourself doing something like winning the World Series unless you're already a Major League Baseball player. I thought that was hilarious. I was going to say, well, already been there and done that. The point is, don't visualize your greatest fantasy, but a possible future that is attainable in the real world. Once you pick your future time frame, spend a few moments mentally exploring it. How did it make you feel? Where would you be? And who would you be with? And number two, spend 10 minutes writing it down. Now, spend 10 minutes writing a description of your future self. Write it in as much detail as you would like, or be vague and abstract. Answer questions about your future self and future life, or simply write about how it feels to have achieved most of your biggest goals. Don't worry about getting it, quote, right. Just write whatever comes to your mind. Don't spend too much time stopping and thinking about it, and don't worry about things like grammar and spelling. After all, unless you decide otherwise, no one is ever going to see this but you. And that's it. If you feel like most people, this exercise will immediately improve your mood and your outlook on life. And that effect may last as long as a week. You can try different versions of the exercise, visualizing your best possible self in different aspects of your life. In fact, this might be a good weekly ritual, maybe something to do every Sunday evening, or start the week off right. So I plan to give it a try. As a matter of fact, I've already written it down. So here's some things that I wrote down about looking at my better self. Number one, it goes without saying, we want everybody to be healthy and happy. So that's just number one. But basically, as far as the business stuff goes, it goes like this. I want to speak 2 times a month around the country because I love speaking out there to the public. Number 2, I'd like to have hundreds of thousands of listeners to the podcast because I obviously love my podcast. So I want to be out there encouraging people to listen and really garnering some unbelievable guests. And this would be once a week. Go to long form guest where we can have all these great success stories coming at your way for your benefit as well. So those are the 3 things as far as business goes that I'd like to happen for me. So when I stop and think about it and dig into some of the prospects of what could happen with the speaking, and I'm talking about my own personal life and for the podcast, which is certainly a possible thing, I feel good about that. It makes me feel good even in the short present time. How long that lasts, who knows? But you can always redo it again and you can change it and you can just have fun with it. And that's what it's all about, is making yourself realize that there's a lot of possibilities out there. And what's wrong with that? It also feels pretty good. And that's my short for today. If you like what you heard, give us a positive review, subscribe, and share. Also, remember that the Sachs in the Morning swag is now available on my Instagram site. Go to SachsInTheMorning_podcast. You'll see it right there on the Instagram, and just hit the link. Everything's there: mugs, hats, tumblers, you name it. Take advantage of it. And thanks to Al Hendrickson Toyota for their support of this podcast. And be sure to visit alhendricksontoyota.com.